I think I better get my mask on before I go too far. Yeah, I did not do this before I did the binding. I think I mentioned that in the last video. Should have, because there's spots here that are low, I mean, you can tell. But I don't want to keep on sanding because I'm just going to make the binding thinner. And I'm already level right here. This was sticking up a little bit when I first started. Just by the way, I did kind of scrape the binding a little bit before I did that. All the way around. I've got the scraping of the binding done on the top and the back. And then I mostly did the side. I just didn't do as much down here. I'm using this poor man's Moxon vise that I made. And I just finished adding cork to it. Yeah, this is a better view. So you can see the cork stops here. And the cork stops here. And there's a gap in the middle. So I'm only pressing on the middle. And if I look on the other side, you can see there's a gap. So I should have put the cork on a long time ago, but it's one of those little small tasks that I just had to do and just wouldn't do it until finally. These are just some cork cup holders that I got from Amazon. There was like a pack of 25 of them for pretty cheap, and I just bought them instead of buying a sheet of cork. But anyway, it's working out. Let me go ahead and finish using that tool on the whole guitar, and then I'll catch back up with you. I apologize if you couldn't see my face in that last shot. This GoPro 7 that I have doesn't have a screen on the front to let me see what I'm looking at. So I think the new ones do. So one of these days I'll upgrade. But for now, I'm doing the best I can. Okay, so I want to point out a couple of things. First of all, you saw me cutting the taper out on the neck, the rough taper, just getting it closer to its width. So of course I still got to put the fingerboard on there, and then do the shaping and all that. But I also kind of pre-calculated the neck angle and kind of drew out where the bolts will go. So it's probably got more of a back set to the angle that I want than I'm supposed to have, I think. But as a beginner, it's the best I could do. I'll try to figure out ways I can fix that, or even other methods, other ways to make a neck, like maybe elevated fingerboard, which I'm learning how to do right now. And obviously that's a hard part, right? That's a very advanced part, all the geometry that you need to figure out the neck angle and the back set and all this stuff, the height at the saddle, the strings above the top of the soundboard, and then at the saddle. It's a lot going on there. So I've got more back angle on this one than I want, just like my first guitar. The first one came out okay, I guess, for a beginner guitar. So this one will be similar. I'll just try to do better going forward. So a couple of things I want to cover too, right here. You see this dark spot here? This first of all shows that I did not use a drum sander. I used a scraper, okay? So I've scalped the inside, obviously. That just goes to show that my experience level as a scraper user is not very good. So that's one thing. The second thing is, like I mentioned in the last video, I forgot to level the sides before doing the binding. So now, because of that, I can't go any thinner because I'll make the binding thin. So I'm going to be left with these scallop parts in the middle, which hopefully won't show too much in the finish. So the other thing I forgot to mention too, I forgot that I said this in the last video. I was going to come back and show you how the point came out. The point binding came out, for my first time, only my second guitar. I can't complain, all right? The little maple lamination on the bottom of the binding, of course, adds a degree of difficulty and some things that you just can't hide. So there are minuscule little gaps that, I mean, you probably can't even see from the camera, but upon closer inspection, I could see some things. And, there was a couple of gaps I've already had to fill. One here, one here, one here. So, more gaps than my last guitar, I think, just because of having to deal with the Florentine Cutaway. So those are just a couple of things I wanted to mention here. So I think next, I'm going to finish cleaning up this. I'll just do some more sanding, and then I'll be ready to do the neck joint, I think. So I think I'm gonna have to check, but I'll make sure, and then I'll meet up with you on the next part. I've carefully positioned the guitar in the Robbie O'Brien neck angle jig, and I am prepared now, ready to go to cut a big hole in the top of this guitar body. So let's hope this goes well.
Let's do it.
I'm trying to make wearing an apron, a shop apron, more of a habit. I intend to put it on when I come down here, just in case I get glue or whatever on my clothes. It's a protection there, but I always forget. So in some shots you see me wearing it, and some I'm not. So this is just sawdust, so I'll just wipe it off. Yeah, I just want to check and verify that the position is good. Well, there you go. Turned out okay, I guess. So I guess now it's on to the neck tenon. I'm getting the neck angle jig set correctly, and I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm going for 2.5 millimeters right here at the saddle. Now I did 3.5 millimeters on my last guitar. That's Robbie's preference, but you know, I haven't moved this thing. I have not adjusted anything since my last guitar. It's still set up like it was, and it was set up for 3.5 millimeters. But on this guitar, without moving anything, I'm at 1.5. So I guess that's just the difference in the body somehow. Now I know my last guitar, I did not build it. I did not keep any of the parts in humidity control. I built the guitar in the shop and it stayed in here basically. In the summer months and in the winter months, I left it inside in the air conditioned area just so the heat and the cold wouldn't affect it. But I didn't adjust anything with humidity or check humidity, nothing. So that may be something to do with why it was so drastic on that guitar. But this one is only at 1.5 millimeters. So that means I need to adjust this a full millimeter and then go ahead and route that tenon in the neck. So let me go ahead and take care of that, get set up, and I'll come back to you. On the last guitar, this was all gone, so I need to cut that off. Okay, so I gotta also thin this down a little bit on both sides because it's just a little bit too big to fit in the mortise, which I made the comment on the last guitar. I didn't know why the templates didn't match up better, but watching Robbie's lessons over again, I realized he did leave a little bit of meat just so you can get it fitting perfectly. So let me get a file, start working on that. All right, well, check it out. I've got the tenon cut. I did have to fiddle with it a bit. It was too long, so I had to cut it a little bit shorter to fit. But the angle is perfect. I checked it here with my straight edge, and I'm at exactly what I wanted to be. Distance from the saddle. Everything seems to be going a lot better than it did last time on the last guitar. If you saw that guitar series, that guitar build series, I should say, I had a lot of problems. Major issues. I almost scrapped the whole project. So if you want to see that video, link here in the corner or in the description box or on the screen somewhere at the end. That was an interesting section of the build last time. But this time it went a lot more smoothly. I'm not saying that it went perfect because it was a lot of fiddling and a lot of just kind of, you know, second guessing things here and there. But all in all, it probably went 100 times better than last time. I'm not even lying. It went so much better. I think it's because I had to really figure it out last time, what I did wrong and how to fix it. So this time I kind of saw those things coming and made preparations to prevent them. So here I've got the tenon. I already cut the heel cap, not the heel cap, I already cut the heel a little bit shorter, so I don't have to worry about flossing all that stuff back there. Looks like it fits pretty good, right? Oh man, this is it's a great thing. I feel really good about it. And it's really cool to see it, you know, the whole thing together like this. It's just a great feeling. So what I did was, I don't want to go past this point on the fretboard. So I've got this set in place, and I took a pencil and just marked all the way under there so that I've got a stop line. And I went ahead and measured from the tenon over and then made the same mark this far over on the other side too, so that it will look centered, I guess. I think it might be 1 or 1.5 millimeters wider than it's supposed to be. So I may hit the fretboard may be just a tad bit wider in order to make this match up with the side, but I'm okay with that. I'm not sure how weird that will feel to the player, But I guess I'll figure it out because, I mean, I'll play guitar, and if it feels weird to me, then I know it'll feel weird to somebody else probably. But anyway, I've got to have that matchup. That was my whole goal. So what I'm going to do in between this video and the next is probably get the centering done like this, because I'm not sure that the neck is centered. And then I can move forward. So I'm going to work on that finessing in between this one and the next one. I got to put a label still. Still hadn't done that. So anyway, still got a few things I got to do. But I'm looking forward to moving on. And I've already got parts for the next guitar coming in. Just letting you know, in case you hadn't seen my Instagram. I'm posting pictures of those parts on my Instagram channel, CMR Wood, if you want to check that out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by again. Keeping up with this series. And I'll see you in the next video. All right. Bye.